Welcome to Newbury Wellbeing Meets, helping you discover your wellbeing and introducing you to our wonderful Newbury Wellbeing Directory members. Today I'm joined by Corrine Thomas, a resilience and wellbeing coach and a Fresh Air Fridays facilitator.
Thanks for inviting me, Claire. So I'm a coach. I've been working as a coach for over 10 years now. And I work as a coach because I'm passionate about people finding a life they love and living to their best. And for me, I sort of gravitated towards wellbeing and resilience over the years because I see so many people who are stressed, overwhelmed, and not enjoying themselves that I want to help them feel better about themselves generally and enjoy their lives. So that's why I focus on well-being and resilience. And the word resilience, often people think about determination, getting through things, coming through hardships, but it's all about learning to adapt to what's around you and finding a way to live that meets you, brings out what's good in you. So you get that balance. For me, that's where the link is between well-being and resilience.
Wonderful. And so for people who don't know about Fresh Air Fridays, what is that?
Oh, yeah. So for me, Fresh Air Fridays brings together all my passions in life. And the first time I saw Fresh Air Fridays, I thought, this is for me. Because again, I love coaching, but I love the outdoors. And I find for me, when I'm outdoors, I do a lot of walking, a lot of trekking. That's when I really connect with who I truly am and when I can sort out everything that's going on in my mind. So Fresh Air Fridays is about going outdoors, connecting with nature and finding the life you love. So for me, it's just an integral part of my coaching.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I suppose in these times, resilience is something that many of us are struggling with, perhaps, or needing to improve on. And going outside, walks in nature, more people seem to be doing that, but of course they're doing it more on their own. And how are you able to help them with that in these times?
Yes, because obviously before the pandemic, I would take groups of people outside for our Fresh Air Friday sessions, and part of that is connecting with nature, but connecting with each other. So we can't do that physically at the moment because we're not allowed to meet each other. But what we can do, and what Fresh Air Fridays have put together, we've put together an audio program which allows people to go outside on a walk and listen in and learn the tools and techniques which we share on a typical Fresh Air Friday session for themselves. Things like we do breathing exercises, a meditation, and connecting with nature around them. But then we're bringing groups together to talk about their experiences. So it's not as good as connecting physically with each other, but we're still creating that connection. And it's a really safe space to talk about the experiences that have come up for you.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, while you're listening to the audio.
Yes. Yeah. And also I understand you're doing a specific course as well, Pathways to Happiness. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so the Pathways to Happiness course is based in the audio program. So it's got 12 sessions, which are the 12 sessions that I would typically run over the course of a year in my monthly outdoor Fresh Air Friday sessions. So again, you purchase the audio program, and then we're bringing everybody together who buys the program on once a week for an hour. And in that hour, we will go through the tools that we would normally use outside. So the breathing, and sort of the meditation, but we also talk about the topic. So typical topics we would cover, like we always begin off with a topic called Fill Yourself Up First. So that's all about finding things that you love to do. We're often always so busy with our to-do lists and we get overwhelmed by day-to-day life that we forget to take care of ourselves, take some time out for things we love. So, typically you would go out, listen to the podcast, think about things that fill yourself up first. Think about things that you love to do, that you're kind to yourself. And then when we come together as a group, we'll spend a little bit of time sharing, listening to each other. And I've done this course 4 or 5 times, and I've been part of Fresh Air Fridays for 4 years, but every time I learn something new. And that's partly from something I've thought of, but also listening to other people and connecting with others and their experiences.
Well, I know personally I've benefited hugely from being part of your Fresh Air Friday session. So thank you very much for that. Could you share with us some of your top tips for people listening in who, might be struggling a little bit at the moment? How can you encourage people to develop their resilience?
Yeah, so I've just finished a dissertation. I've been doing a master's degree, and I studied resilience as part of that. And just towards the end of it, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So as well as the pandemic, I've had that to deal with.
Yes.
So initially, we've all been through a massive shock with the pandemic because our lives have been turned upside down. But what came to me, and what I learned as part of my research really, is resilience is the ordinary magic that's in all of us. We have got the ability and the tools to get through this. And some of that, for me, actually being resilient is recognizing the emotions you're having, allowing yourself to experience your emotions. It's not bad to be upset. It's not bad to get angry. And in fact, coming back to Fresh Air Fridays and being outside, I walked a lot in the forest when I was first diagnosed. I was kicking the leaves and shouting and screaming, but it allowed me to process my emotion. So I think part of resilience is being aware of your own emotions and processing them. But also at the end of every day, I was doing this before my diagnosis and I do it now, I will step back and think of something good that's happened in that day, something I'm thankful for. And it might just be that the sky was blue or I had a nice cup of tea. It doesn't have to be anything big. But I think to be aware of your emotions, be able to say something you're grateful for every day is massive. So those are my first couple of tips.
Yes.
And, I think I'm going through some quite difficult treatment at the moment. So my go-to tool with that is my breathing exercises. So there's lots of different ways of learning breathing, but on Fresh Air Fridays, we teach something called 7-11 breathing, where you breathe in for a count of 7, out for a count of 11. That slower outward breath is what calms the body down. So when I'm full of anxiety and feeling really stressed, that's the thing I always go to, my breathing exercise.
So thank you very much for joining us today, Corrine. It's been great to hear about what you offer and those fantastic tips for wellbeing and resilience.
Yeah, thank you, Claire. It's been lovely to catch up.